You went and interviewed them or called them or what?
No.
I mean, the story. How did you get all that information?
I got the Hetzler story from Louise Kistler, who was this was her grandma.
Okay.
She was still living. She was
So
older.
you talked to her?
So I got it. Yeah, I said a lot of this history of the Hetzlers was told to me by Louise Kistler. She was Anthony's daughter.
So how did you end up
and
talking to her?
Mary's niece.
Did you call her or visit her or what?
She lived right at Cedar Lake.
Okay.
And in fact, Jim bought a house that she got from her father and gave a house to her when he wanted to build up the shopping center. Because the Hetzlers all had homes there on that.
On the shopping center land. Okay.
He took a lot of the houses and moved them. And so he could put up stores. And in fact, she was a feisty lady, smart, worked for the sheriff and everything. Kept a terrible house. You just you held your breath when you went in there. It was bad.
And she had 8 cats or something like that.
Oh my God! Yes, cats. Had all these cats, and they were running all over the house.
She had a monkey, remember?
Huh?
She had a monkey.
She had a monkey.
She had monkeys too.
Yeah.
She had monkeys.
That was when she was younger. She had this man living with her, and she had one room all with monkeys, and then when she had him living there, he happened to be very, very meticulous and clean. So the place was lovely, real nice. It was just a little shack, but it was really clean and nice. But something with him, she always said that there was no romance there. She always made a remark that, I guess today you would say gay.
And he was gay?
Well, that's
what she basically was.
But he lived with
Was
her.
insinuating.
He got in some kind of trouble.
No wonder he was so clean.
Yeah.
Turn it on. This is forever.
So anyway, she had macular degeneration of her eyes. She was almost completely blind. So I used to go there and do her write checks, pay her bills, and also I would go and shop for her. She told me what she wanted. And she was feisty and bitchy. And she, usually I never did it right, or she was always complaining about Jim's mother. And see, there's a family thing there of competitiveness in the property and the business. Very definitely. They practically, there's where money interfered with her.
Well, that must have been the
relationships in the family. Huh?
Right. It was bad. Really bad. And she resented the fact that Jim did get her house.
We get off here anyway.
And because her house is right where Zip Food is right now.
0.2 miles, this is it.
He took it and moved it up
0.2 miles, I-76.
where we were all
That's
living,
176.
You remember where I was living before I got the big house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that's what those houses up there were all moved up there. The apartment house.
Those are the ones that were.
Miles, honey.
Those are the ones that were on the strip mall.
I don't know.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Well, at one time
I-76.
there
We
was
just stay on
a
this
dime
road.
store and Shirley's Dance
They stay
Studio
at
and the post office. And all that is on land that had houses on them. And not all of them. There's one little part. Well, this is all the Hetzlers right now. One little part was the grocery stores. The rest of this is the Hetzlers.
Yeah, look at that.
They had cottages to rent. Rachel's cottage, and that's when we were there. Was a
So this is the places along where the strip mall is now.
Right.
Okay, and they took
They
those.
were kind of up in a hill. If you go up
a
the
little
hill,
higher.
they
Okay.
still are. There still is a hill there.
Okay. Well, she
Uncle
lived
Joe-
up there, right? I mean,
she
daughter.
lived. Yeah, she lived. Her father, her dad was Tony Hetzler, and he was. There were the kids that there was a Hetzler kids. There was 2 girls, Barbara and Mary.
Business center, right?
And 2 boys. There was Uncle George that had the ballroom, and Tony Hetzler had a fish shack there. Had a bar. They all had bars. Had a bar, and it had where you could rent rooms upstairs, and where you also could have dinners.
What's a fish shack mean?
Yeah,
Keep
They
laughing.
sold fish, or
it
they
was-
76
were
each.
for
What?
fishermen, or what?
no, they sold fish dinners.
Okay, they sold fish dinners. Okay, like a fish restaurant. Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
and a bar.
all right.
Oh, they said bar. Anyway, his daughter was Louise Kistler, the one that gave me this.
You say it was a
And,
big accident?
Uh,
Big accident.
She had a daughter too, Carol. By the way, you remember Carol, don't you? Louise's
Yeah.
daughter.
Yeah.
She died. I forgot to tell you. The boy, her son, called me and told me he was very nice. Steve, he said, my mother always thought a lot of you, and I want you to know. She said that, and you can tell the other people that she died. I guess she was 84 or something. She had the same thing as her mother with her eyes. She couldn't see. So anyway, Louise had this macular degeneration, and she, then I sat down with her, and she told me all of this.
Okay. Now, who would have been the one that I went and visited? Somebody. It would have been my great grandmother. That would have been her daughter.
No, that was
Or that was the other
Tony. That was Mary Stive, which
right.
was Jim's mother, and this one's Mary. This was her mother.
Her mother. So that would have been her daughter.
It was Mary was her daughter.
Yeah, okay.
But not Louise. Tony, Mary's brother, was the father of Louise Kistler.
Okay.
So, but she would complain to me all the time that they had treated her rotten, and meeting Mary Stive and Jim, and I'm staying right in the middle. I said, Louise, I had to hear it all the time when I'd take her driving everywhere to the doors and stuff. I would hear about how she got rimmed and all that stuff, and I was so sick.
27 miles on this
I was so
road.
sick of hearing
Why
it
were you driving her?
because she couldn't. She was blind.
Because of the sight. Okay. Yeah.
So I would take her to the doctor or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So she wasn't real happy, huh?
No, she wasn't a happy camper at all. She worked for us at the ballroom when she was younger. She would sell tickets and everything. She's a very intelligent woman. She worked for the sheriff. She was his assistant or something, and but she just had a deal on her shoulder,
She was
Gotcha.
crabby.
This was a restaurant buffet?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah, it was right. That was, I don't know exactly where that was. It was on the corner there somewhere where the shopping center is. I'd say that was probably up on the hill there, right next to the.
You could try anything sneaky, area.
Oh. You had a blank. Here it is. This was George
The other,
Hetzler's. He ran this here
the old
too.
one we had,
He had a
all in
house
that
up
route.
behind that that's still there
Traffic,
that we have rented. And then this hotel was here. And then when Jim wanted to, I meant to say dollar store, just came to me. This was probably sitting on the hill there by this somewhere. And the dollar store now is over here. And it was on a hill. But when he started the ballroom, he felt he had to have alcohol. So he got a beer and wine permit and sold a lot of champagne like that.
So they had alcohol there before you guys had it?
No. I'm talking about when Jim.
Oh, okay. All right, when Jim had it. Okay.
Yeah. And he said that no, they never had it. If they had it, they were smuggling it in.
Okay. Right. Well,
But-
yeah. Let me ask you: have you heard stories like that? Were they were
No,
smuggling alcohol in, or there was
No,
ever alcohol
I-
there?
no.
Because you had the picture there, but in the 20s and 30s, right?
Yeah.
Well,
So it was there, right?
This is where the Dairy Queen is now, and the
Right.
ballroom is out there.
Well, how did Jim get an alcohol permit? What did he have to do to get
They
one?
moved the hotel
Well,
down.
at first we had a restaurant, and you had to sell so much percentage of alcohol, and then you could get a
Food, you mean?
just a beer and wine. And he got champagne. A lot of people were buying champagne cocktails and stuff like that. But
You mean
then what I started to talk about was this hotel that's up here. Then he wanted to get a three-way where he could have mixed drinks and the whole deal. So the state of Indiana, one of the senators was Lassen, who owned the other ballroom out over the water, and owned the place where the yacht club is now. That was his home. Well, he went downstate because he had this ballroom where he was getting a lot of people. It was really more, at that time, a better place than Midway. Midway was all...
Where was that at?
It was down close to where the lighthouse is. And anyway, this Lassen, who was a state senator, he wanted to sell alcohol. So he put a law in that, you know where the museum, that's what I'm trying to say. Where the museum is?
Right.
Well, that's where the ballroom was. And that hotel was part of it.
It was part of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was a big hotel with all the...
So they tore down the ballroom but left the hotel, basically.
Yeah, they had to sell it. It was gone. It was... Midway surpassed it then by far.
So he passed a law, what was it? If you were out of the water, on the water or something?
No. He passed the law.
Oh.
Yeah.
If he passed the law, if...
You have a hotel with 25 rooms.
Yeah. You had to have... You couldn't get a license unless you had a hotel with 25 rooms. And that was just to set him off, because then he could get a license.
Right.
And he didn't figure on everybody else doing it. But Jim did it. He took this hotel and he moved it across the street. And he got away with it. Nobody stopped him. He moved it across the street, tied it into the ballroom, and you had the rooms upstairs, and he had 25 rooms, and he got a license.
I'm
Three-way.
confused. So there was a hotel next to the Midway.
Not until you put this over.
So where was it?
It was sitting right there next to it. You'll have to see it.
I don't remember there even being a hotel there.
Oh, yeah, there was a hotel.
It was connected?
Connected, yeah.
Jim put it that way, so it would be.
It was
You had
connected.
the dry pilings in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was out over the water.
Yeah. It tied right in with
The
the
hotel
ballroom.
was over the water?
I don't have a picture of it
Huh.
here
I
now.
didn't even know that.
The
Okay.
entire
Yeah.
hotel and the restaurant was over the water.
It had a restaurant under it. It had different people ran it for us. None of them were very good.
I was around when that hotel was still there, wasn't I?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dick Sterling and the Nightcaps, they used to stay up there.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times.
It only had like 3 bathrooms. And the rooms, you had to get out in the hall of the bathroom.
Yes,
And
right.
the floors were all, somebody said the floors were all crooked, like
Probably.
you'd slide down the hall.
Right.
Moved the house across the street.
He
Oh my
moved
gosh.
this. It was a hotel that he moved
Wow, I
across the
picked
street.
it up and moved it. Huh?
And all those
Yeah.
rooms he had then.
So there was that was already a hotel.
Yeah,
Okay.
hotel and bar.
All
It
right.
had a bar in
And
it.
he moved it over.
Yeah. So they call it Hetzler's Hotel. So, and his mother instigated it and got it. So she had this. She had loaned George Hetzler owned this. See, this strip went right down to the ballroom. So he had this hotel, and then he had the ballroom, and up behind there he had a
We
house.
get off in Valley Forge, 27
So,
miles.
He couldn't afford
That's where
anymore.
we went
he
there. That's
he
where
couldn't pay his bills or
Washington
anything when he got
crossed the
old, and he
Delaware
never.
in Valley Forge.
He was another one that would drink like crazy.
Delaware River is there.
He'd go get the all the
Gonna be
beer
hours
trucks to
getting
come
here.
up to his house and unload. You know,
Recording this.
and he had all his old cronies in
He's
playing cards,
recording this.
you know,
Okay.
and stuff like that. So
Recording.
ended up, he went to Jim and said, "Could you buy my house? I don't have them." And Jim said, "I'll pay you so much a month for as long as you live there, and you live there until you die. And I'll give you so much a month." And he was happy with that. So all he cared about was having his beer and having his buddies, and that's all. And cooking a big load of hog hash or whatever it was he made all the time.
Hog hash?
No. I
Homemade wine?
no, he didn't do
not
that.
knuckles.
So,
Oh, hog knuckles?
but
Knuckles?
this was no, wait a minute. Who is it? Yeah, this is her when she got married. That's right. And Tony, this Louise, looked a lot like that. But yeah, there was a whole bunch of they tried to farm that land when they first came there. They came from Europe, and they tried to farm the land, but they
So
found,
they weren't born here?
Oh no!
They were born in Germany.
Right.
Germany?
Yeah, some were German.
Or Czechoslovakia?
Czechoslovakia, some of them were. Pilsner, where a lot of them were born. And you can go over there and see the grave. So, well, the Indians got there first, you know. The Indians got to Cedar Lake first.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And they had that hotel that we had up on the hill. They said
Just
that
opened up, didn't it?
they found
Weird.
all kinds of Indian relics in that hill.
Oh.
That was a high hill, and they always bury their dead
Right.
close to heaven. Yeah. So, but that's the Hetzlers. She had, like I said, she had that macular degeneration. Couldn't see. Yeah, it was terrible when she got really old. They couldn't see at all, and there was, I guess, underneath or somewhere, the cats could get in, or they'd go in and out of her house and have kittens, and she wouldn't even know they were in the house. You know, it's not a nice story.
Yeah.
Because she'd step on these little kittens, and I know, not even know she was doing it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad.
Did she live by herself till she died?
No, Carol came up, her daughter, came from Texas, and lived with her for 3 years or more.
Oh.
In fact, she was working for us up at the laundromat.
Oh, okay.
Carol was. But they didn't get along either. They were always fighting, two of them. They didn't get along. My family, the Bergies, they came from Switzerland. And my cousins have been over to saw a lot of our relatives' graves over there. So, but they really didn't make it on a farming. I got my mother's name was Martha Berge, and this is what history I have of her. Oh, I know, I did. I got it from Grace, she was one of their children.
They
my
call it
cousin.
They used to swim with.
Yeah, I talked to her, and she got this information for me.
I-76.
So,
It's
She's
also
still
called
alive?
I-76.
oh yeah,
Is she here?
oh yeah. Her husband was a doctor. That's how I say the whole family did real well. Her husband was a doctor. He was a Mennonite. Came from Canada. He came from Canada, and he was a Mennonite up there. And she married him, and she worked hard to put him through school where he became a doctor.
So he's an MD?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She was close to my age, so we were the ones that kind of palled around together and swam together and all that stuff. So, anyway, what we were going with this
This would have
anyway.
been your cousin?
She's my first cousin.
Cousin, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my first cousin. So she just got back from Vietnam. She's almost my age. I think she's probably 89 now, and she travels all the time. She goes to Egypt. She goes all over. He died, and he's been her husband gone. And he was very strict with her when she couldn't do all this when he was there. Since he's gone, she's traveled a lot. And might get to meet her, I don't know. She's John's sister. Yeah. And that family, they get together all the time. They come in from all over, and they have a and Eunice and Lois. So,
All the brothers and sisters.
yeah, right. The one sister, Lois, bought a home down in Florida. So now the three of them, their husbands are all gone. So the three of them meet all the time down in Florida and stay part of the winter down there. So they've been down there this past winter.